Oh yeah, it's so fun. Can we hit 36? 36. Woo! All right, so as you just saw, this bike is a freaking beast. And I'm gonna say freaking a lot in this video because for $17.99 right now, which is the sale price, but the normal price being $2,000, which is still a great deal for the performance that you're getting from this. And I've used a lot of bikes that cost more than this that don't have the exact power that you get here. So let's just take a look at this bike overall first before we get back into like the power and performance. So this bike does come in a few different colors. You get black and blue here, which will be the color you will be if you fall off this bike going at top speed. And it also comes in black and red, gray and black, and there is a gray and pink option, but it's unavailable right now, so I'm not sure if that's going to be coming back in stock. And there's also two different styles of this bike. So you have the high step version here, which has a little bar here at the top that you have to step over to get on the bike, but there's also a step through version or a low step version of this bike that won't have this bar, and that will be a little bit easier to get on and off. And there is a place to attach something like a water bottle holder right underneath this bar here at the top on the high step version. And on the low step version, you still have that bar, but it's angled down and you'll still find that same location for a water bottle holder. And as you can see, this is a big bike. So this is not a small bike by any means. So lengthwise, it's going to be taking up some space, but also it does weigh 73 pounds. So it's a little heavy, but one thing that's convenient on this bike is underneath the seat, you do have a handle that you can use to kind of pick up and move this bike around. Now, if you are trying to move this and you want to put it inside of your vehicle, one thing that can help you is the fact that the front tire does have a quick release. So you can just pull down this lever and then now you can slide the tire off, and that'll make it a little bit easier for you. Now, something else that's big on this bike is this rear rack. This thing is massive. So I think Ariel Rider does sell a rear basket that you can buy for their bikes. And I think this can actually fit 2 of those. So you have plenty of space for storage. And the total weight that this rear rack can support is 70 pounds, but for the entire bike, it can support up to 300 pounds. And for that weight and also the speeds that you can go, you want a bike that is solid, and this thing is built very, very well. Cable management up front is very nice. You have some internal routing for the cables, so underneath the bike, you're not going to find a lot of cables and stuff. All that stuff mostly is going to be going through the frame of the bike and out the back. And this bike also came with front and rear fenders that are long and big, and they need to be that way because the tires are also big on this bike because they come in at 26 by 4-inch tires. And the treading on the tires is decent for, you know, a little bit of off-roading and gravel and stuff. But if you really want to take this thing out and get really down and dirty with it, you might want to go with some tires that have a little bit more treading, but they were fine for most of the stuff that I've been doing around the city. Now, I'm also liking the front headlight when it comes to brightness and also how wide the coverage is. It's wider than I typically see on e-bikes with the stock headlight. And then on the back, you will find a tail light that also turns on when you turn on the headlight. And then also it does function as a brake light as well. So when you press down on the brakes, it will flash. And then for another bonus, this bike also comes with left and right turn signals. So that is a big plus. Now, the controls for the turn signals and the headlights and tail lights are on the left-hand side of the handlebars. And to the right of those, you will also find a few more buttons, and those buttons control the color LCD display on this bike. Now, I do feel that the screen could be just a little bit bigger, but for the size, they do fit a lot of information on here, especially when you press that power button. You see some very useful information as far as like your speed and your overall trip distance and your maximum speed, total distance. And I just love the presentation that they have here with this information. And also tucked away underneath this screen is going to be a USB Type-A port that you can hook up to your smartphone, especially if you do have like a smartphone holder on your handlebars to be able to keep it charged. And then to the right of that, you will find the thumb controls for the Shimano 7-speed shifter. And then also you will find a half twist throttle to the right of that. And then as far as the handlebar grips, right now they're currently a little slippery than what I particularly like. But yeah, we'll see how they wear in, but I might opt to put maybe some type of rubber grips on these handlebars. Oh, and the handlebars do have a tilting function, so you can tilt them towards you or away from you depending on how far you want to be leaning forward on the bike, or if you want to have a little bit more of a seated up position, you can do that as well. All right, so how is it to ride this Kepler? Well, I will say is that you have the power to make it feel like you can just really do anything. All right, so I had to pull over so I don't ruin my LASIK here. Got to put my glasses on because I'm going too fast. And let me switch over to pedal assist. And yes, it's very smooth, right? So this isn't a torque sensor. This is still a cadence sensor, which you typically see on e-bikes, especially around this price range. But it's very responsive. As soon as I start pedaling, you hear that motor kicks in. And then when I stop, it's just like a half a second later that the motor stops. And now we're about to test the front suspension on this bike. Oh yeah, I'm feeling that. So the front suspension does have 80 millimeters of travel, which is good, but definitely not having a rear suspension means that you will feel it a little bit in the seat. Now, the seat itself is actually not too bad. It's better than the Ariel Rider Grizzly that I do have. So it's a little bit of cushion there, and it's also wide enough for me. It's not the most comfortable that I've used around this price range, but not bad. And with the lack of a rear suspension, you can always add a suspension seat post to this to help out with the bumpy rides. But other than that, on flat land like this little strip of road that I have here, just being able to get up to 25 miles per hour just like that, so good. All right, so the spot I want to get to is back here, but it is very muddy and dirty. Oh man. Now I'm trying to test out the walking assist mode, and you're supposed to just be able to hold down on the minus button and it should kick in, but I'm doing that right now and nothing is happening. The little thing on the display does show the little symbol for the walking assist mode, but it's not starting yet. And let me see if I give it a little bit push. Will it start? Nope. Huh. Anyway, I'll try to reset that out, but that's one issue that I seem to be having. But all right, man, look at this view. Look at this. This is pretty sweet. I love coming out here. Don't go too far. There's a little bit of a drop over there into the water. But yeah, the good thing about these type of e-bikes is that you have the power and the performance to get places like this. Now the motor on this beast is a custom 1,000-watt gear hub motor that sits in the rear wheel. And this thing can peak out at 1,800 watts. So at maximum power, 1,800 watts is what you're getting. And you'll see why that matters in my speed test here coming up in a bit. Now, besides the motor, something else that's really helping to really give this bike its power is the 52 volt, 20 amp hour battery. And so 52 volts means that you're getting more than the typical 48 volts that you see on e-bikes. So that's going to be able to add that extra punch of juice to be able to allow the motor to really get its maximum potential. And the Ariel Rider Grizzly, which I reviewed like over a year ago, that also has a 52 volt system. And so Ariel Rider likes his 52 volts, and I'm not mad at that. I hope they keep it going. But also this battery is removable. So it comes with 2 keys that you can slot in and be able to easily take this battery out. And I love how it just slides off to the side. And then when you do go to put it back in, you do get this audible click, which is very welcoming because that lets you know that for sure you have the battery seated properly. Sometimes you don't really know for sure. You have to do like a little bit of a shake test. But with this battery setup, I don't have to do that. Now, when it comes to range on this bad boy, the company says that you should be able to get between 35 and 75 miles. Now, the low end of 35 miles will be if you are just using that throttle only. And it's going to be around that, right? Depending on how much you weigh, how many hills you're going up and stuff like that. You might get a little bit less, you might get a little bit more, but to get close to that 75-mile top range, you're definitely going to need to be able to use that pedal assist. Now, by default, it does come with 5 levels of pedal assist, but you can bump that up to 9 levels of pedal assist. All right, so now for what you've been waiting for, here is my speed test. So I have this thing on pedal assist level 9. I have it fully unlocked in the settings. So let's get this thing going in 3, 2, 1, boom. All right, and my first test is just going to be using the throttle only, and we're already up to 16 miles per hour on the bike's display, 20 miles per hour on my GPS app, and they're keeping close together. We're at 27 miles per hour, 28 miles per hour, 29, 30, and I think this is a little bit of a bump. I'm gonna take it a little bit easy. All right, there we go. All right, let's get it back on. All right, back up to 30 miles per hour. And I weigh about 220 pounds on a good day. And I do have a camera backpack with a decent amount of gear in it. So we're still already up to 32 miles per hour, 32.9. And we're going uphill a little bit too. And we're actually racing that train over to the left. Woo! Feel that wind, baby. This feels so good. 33 miles per hour. We're at 33.7. And the display is really accurate. We're at, now I'm going back to, we hit 34 for a little bit. This is fast. All right, so it looks like 34 miles per hour is what I'm getting right now. So let's go ahead and test out the brakes. You know, you don't want to brake too hard, but very, very nice and secure braking here. So the train is going to pass me by. Yeah, I beat you. And the brand of brakes on this bike are the Tektro HD-E 350 brakes. And all right, so now my next test is going to be using pedal assist, and I like to use the throttle a little bit to get me going because this bike is a heavy bike, but once you get going, the pedal assist kicks in very nicely, and we're already at 20 miles per hour. And you know what? I don't think I really went into the motor specs yet. So this bike does have an 1,000-watt motor that does peak at 1,800 freaking watts. So that's where this power is coming in addition to that 52-volt battery. We're at 31 miles per hour already. And I'm not even like working hard yet. Now I'm getting into it. 34 miles per hour. 35. Oh yeah, it's so fun. Can we hit 36? 36. Woo! Test out these brakes. That was fun. So, so I was talking and not even paying attention, but we still were able to get up to 36 miles per hour, and I'm pretty sure I can go even faster, but honestly, that's like really good and fast for me. Now, I just did a quick battery check. I'm at 81% right now, but I've been riding around for maybe like 2 hours or so, getting some footage, doing my speed tests and stuff. And I've been stopping and starting, but the battery life is still pretty good for the amount of like riding I've done so far today. So not bad. All right, so now we're doing a little bit of off-roading here a little bit. So this is at an incline in some grass. Suspension is doing pretty well. And I'm just using throttle only. Woo. And I still feel the power. Woo, yeah, oh yeah. So this thing, I mean, this thing is so fun. So fun. But yeah, I think I probably would add a suspension seat post to make it even better. And let me see if I can get up this hill. Oh, I don't have any low gears. We almost made it up there, but I did not change the gears to a lower gear. And that was a last minute decision. But you see, I got pretty much all the way up it. All right, so look, I still don't know how they were able to get so much in a bike for this price range. You have the power, you have the performance, and one of the things I really like about this bike versus my Ariel Rider Grizzly that I do have is the fact that this does look and function more like a traditional bike. And another advantage this has over the Grizzly is the simple fact that you can raise and lower the seat, where in the Grizzly, the seat is in one standard location. So this is just gonna be better for people of different sizes or people who have long legs and they wanna get that full extension. So yeah, I mean, they hit it out the park with this one, under $2,000. This is going to be one of my top recommendations easily. So I'll drop a link down below to this bike if you want to check out more information about it or pick up one for yourself. But yeah, let me know what you think about this bike in the comments below. I'm ready to go ride before it gets too cold out here in St. Louis. But I want to thank you for watching this video, and I will catch you later. Peace.